is I'm going to take you back to the other window because it's time for us to start. So hello everyone, welcome to the Discord bot workshop. I'll get started with a brief rundown of what we're going to be doing today, and I'll introduce myself and we'll get right into it. So today we're going to be coding a Discord bot. So it is basically an automated client for Discord. So we're going to be using Python as well as Discord's API and developer portal to create our application and put it on our server to demonstrate it. So before we begin, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Mingda. I am a second-year engineering student at the University of Toronto. I want to major in aerospace engineering. But with that said, I also program a lot on the side. I have a lot of side hustles going on my GitHub. Notably, I like coding a lot of Discord bots and also games on the side. So those are the two things that I'm primarily interested in. Here are my LinkedIn pages and GitHub repository, respectively. Specifically, let's go over to my GitHub repository right now to take a look at some of the things I've been doing. So as you can see, my pinned repository, right number one, is my Discord bot. It's called Comrade. This is one that I've been working on since October. And as you can see, this has had quite a bit of beefiness assigned to it. This is a pretty thick bot in terms of code. But I'm still working on it, and it's nowhere near feature complete yet. And I actually do have this ready to demo in the demo server that I'm going to be sending you guys to in just a second. So with that said, let me give you guys a link to the demo server for the Discord. I'm going to post this in the Discord channel, and then I'll send you guys over. Hold on. Just give me a second. I need to invite you guys over to the Discord. Awesome. So right now, I just posted in the announcements channel the server to join for the bot demo. If you want to join that server, what you'll be able to see is you'll be able to join the following. You'll be able to join this channel where you'll be able to find the current bot and everything else all set up. So what you can do in here is you can play around with either of my bots, Comrade or the demo bot I have set up. So demo bot's very simple. You can just say hello and it'll say hello back to you, or you can try to get your own profile picture or the profile picture of someone else. And then also it'll pull up the profile picture for you. Awesome. And then over on the Comrade side, there's a bit more functionality. So first, before we get into any code, I want to show you sort of how powerful these bots can be. So as you can see here beforehand, I'd actually graphed a function using Comrade, which is my main bot. So you can actually use stuff as a graphing calculator. This is super useful sometimes for illustrating like visual stuff if you're talking about school with someone. Like let's say I wanted to graph a quadratic, you know what this looks like? This looks like a quadratic with the vertex at x equals -3. Awesome. Okay, so we see that as well, right? So you can do a lot of really advanced stuff with this, and there's a lot of fun stuff you can do with Discord bots. And this is sort of what I want you to appreciate first with the power of this, because this is basically allowing you to do anything you know how to do in Python already and put it over on Discord. So for instance, right, setbot, which is the thing that lets all of you guys into the server, right? This thing is also coded in Discord Py, and I can show you the source code for that in just a second. And you can see, right, this makes using Discord a lot easier, right? Because otherwise, I would have to, every single time someone types "I agree" on the server, I'd have to go and give you the role manually, and I have to say, "Oh, thank you, your role has been assigned." But now I have this bot to do automatically for me. Like we've been doing this for what? Like we've been doing this for like over 200 participants. I can actually show you right now over off in the random channel. I think it was the bot command is number of participant. Is that not the command? Hold on. No, it was, of course, my bot decides to not work exactly when I need to demo it. Oh, well, we'll have the other ones ready when we need to. Anyways, so this is sort of going to be, we're not going to be able to program something as big as this, but we will be able to get something on the order of it eventually, given what you learned from today. So with that said, let's go straight into the tools we're going to be using today. So the first thing you're going to want to look at today is discord.com/developers. So make sure you sign into Discord first, and then you sign into your developer's account. And this is basically what we're going to be doing to create the account for the bot, right? Because as you noticed, the demo bot that I made is basically has its own user account. And this is what you're basically doing through Discord. So first we'll set up our user account. We're going to hit new application, and then we're just going to type it, and we're going to call it something. We're going to call this demo bot 2. Right? And demo bot 2 is here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go select on the left bar. We're going to go to the bot, and then we're going to click this add bot button. And this basically creates this bot user. And now our bot has come to life. And this is awesome. Now what we see here is you can see this token here. So this token is basically our login key for our bot. It's sort of like our password. So we basically show this token to Discord, and it lets us log in. I'm going to actually reveal it right here because I'm not using this bot for anything. But if you guys want to use your own bots, right? Never reveal this token to anyone else. Never do this. I'll actually show you a way to keep this nice and private, so you can keep this isolated out of your file when we actually start coding. But you'd copy this, you put this into whatever code, and then you'd use that as your password to log in. But I already have my other bot done. This is demo bot number 1. And I prepared that yesterday while preparing for this. So next thing you want to do is you want to go install the necessary libraries that we need for today's programming stuff. So today we're going to be using discord.py. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to install it. So we're going to go over to command prompt. And you guys know probably how to install Python packages. If not, I'll give you the 10-second version of it. You just need to type one command into it. You would basically just type pip install discord. Right. And because I already have Discord installed, everything's already satisfied, but you would basically type that and then hit it and let it install. Okay, the other library we need today is Python-.env. So this is what it looks like. If you can see it on the screen, you're gonna wanna hit this as well. You're gonna wanna install that. And so that's already installed on my side. Great, now that we have that out of the way, we can do the other stuff. Okay. So now let's start. Now let's make our bot. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to start with the basics. We need to actually import the libraries that we're using today. So the library that we're importing today is Discord. Awesome. Okay. Another thing today to basically make it so the bot can run commands. So did you see how I used the $ profile? And I use that basically as a command on the bot and provide it as an argument. So we basically want some bot that has command frameworks built into it. So we're going to import this from somewhere else. So there's another subsection of the Discord library called discord.ext. And then from that, we want to import a module called commands. Okay, awesome. And basically, these are the basic libraries for Discord. And this allows us to have a bot that can take commands. Okay, awesome. The next thing we need to do is we need to find a way basically to obfuscate our bot token. So what I recommend you all to do is so I'm going to move this file away. I'm going to make it again. In the same folder that you're starting your bot, make another file called .env. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our developer window. So I'm going to share my entire screen now. So we're going to go back to here. We're going to basically take our token. We're going to copy it on this page, and then we're going to go back to here, and then we're basically going to do token is equal to, so token in all caps is equal to with this string of numbers is your token. Now, when you're actually coding this bot, never show this token again. This is the same thing as basically showing someone your Discord login credentials. The only reason why I'm okay with sharing these with you right now is because this bot is confined to this one server. So even if you get control of it, I don't really care. But with real bots that you have on real servers, don't do this. But anyways, the idea is that this file will basically be hidden away and most people won't be able to access it from anywhere. And this will be sort of just like a secret file and that you have to call upon from this next file. So let's figure out how we're going to call upon this file from the next file. Now, there's a reason why you installed python.env, and that's because we're going to be using it next. So we need to import two libraries for this. First, we need to import .env, which is exactly what we installed previously. But .env also depends on OS. Well, actually, OS sort of depends on .env, but it's complicated. It's basically used to load a variable as if it were an environment variable on the system. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do then is we need to actually get our token. So what we're going to do is the first command that first line of code that we write is .env.load.env. Okay, so basically what this does is it scans for any files that are titled .env in the local folder, and it basically will inject it into the system. Now then what we need to do is we basically will assign our token. Our token is going to be equal to os.environ.get, and then we want it to look for this thing called token. So basically that's why we had this thing in here. What the .env thing does is it basically assigns this token that we have stored here and injects into a system variable that can then be loaded by os.environ.get when it looks for the system variable called token. Okay, so now that we have that done, this is basically our password. This is basically our secret bot password. Okay, awesome. So now what we can do is we can actually make our client basically, because Discord runs off of this client, right? So we basically need to create the user. And the way we do this is we're just going to say, client is equal to commands.bot. Okay. Now, commands.bot requires you to specify a command prefix. So command. So we'll just say, maybe we'll just call this exclamation mark. Okay. And then what we'll do is we're going to just run the bot. So we're going to do client.run, and then with .run, we need to provide us a password basically, and that's basically where our token comes in. So you can see here, this is our very basic skeleton Discord bot. So we're going to break it into 4 different pieces. Piece number 1, import the stuff that we need. Number 2, load the password from our file. Number 3, create the bot. Number 4, run the bot with the password from our file. Awesome. So let's try running this code. And let's share the entire screen again. So let's see what happens in here. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. You need to actually join the bot to your server. This is a very important idea. We're going to kill this process first. So to join the bot to your server, you need to go back to your Discord bot developer page, go to OAuth2, and then check the bot scope, and then just give it whatever permissions the bot needs. Usually for testing, I just give it administrator. And then you're going to want to copy this link, paste into your browser, and then you can basically get to select to add it to any server you want. So in this case, Discord bot demo. So I've already done this to the first bot, so I'll show you what it's like with the second bot. So again, bot, copy, give it administrator, copy, paste it in, and add this to Discord bot demo, give it the permissions, pass the CAPTCHA. Okay, awesome. So check it out. Now, demo bot number 2 is up. Oh, sorry. The whoever just called this command here, the bot is not currently running on my side, so it's not up to use yet. You know what? I'll just put it up for you guys though to use, because I know it's fun to look at this stuff. This will run the bot for you guys, and you'll be able to just use it directly. Okay, bot's online. You guys can use it. Okay. So back to here then. We basically are just running the client with our password. Now, what we can do also is, let me swap over my token to the other one that I just made. So demo bot number 2. We're going to copy over this token, and we're going to run it using that one instead, because I want to show you guys what happens when we just run this code. If you check our Discord window, you should see, okay, look, demo bot 2 has now gone online. So now it's now gone online. I want you to look carefully, because now I'm going to stop the code, and demo bot 2 is going to go offline in a couple of seconds. So awesome, but the bot's online, but right now it's basically just as if someone logged into Discord is not doing anything. So we actually want to basically make it so the bot does something. And the way to make it do something is just by adding more code. So I want you to sort of think of this line down here as being sort of its own world. This is basically going to be the final step, and then everything beforehand, all the ingredients of the bot, all the core ingredients of the bot, basically the DNA of the bot has to be defined up here. So the first thing that we can do is let's try adding a command. So the syntax for adding a command is as follows. If you've ever worked with Python before, you might be familiar with the idea of function decorators. If not, that's totally okay. And this is where we're going to get into the nitty gritty of Discord Pi and also this async IO. So, after a quick drink of water. The way to usually want to think of a command is sort of like a function. So, you know, like I can do def repeat. And then, you know, I can just do, I'd say some sort of message, right? And then, you know, you just return the message, right? So let's try to code this into a command. Okay, now the syntax for defining a command in discord.py is like as follows. A client.command. And then we do async def, and we'll call this repeat. And then we'll take in this thing called a message. Now, actually, we can't do that as the first argument. The first argument is this thing called CTX, and this is we're going to call it CTX, but it's basically the type of this first argument is a commands.context. And then the second one we can just make like some sort of message, and this can be just a string. Okay. Let's break down what's happening here. So the first thing that's happening here is the @client here is based off of this thing here. So if I change this to, you know, Bob, this would have to become, you know, @bob.command. So keep that in mind. But .command is basically taking part of the subclasses of the actual Discord bot and then getting the command part of it, and then basically wrapping this function up and putting it as a command that we're ready to use. Now, this context thing, this is really important because context basically tells you where the command was called. So context can tell you, it can tell you what channel it was in, what server it was in, who wrote the message. And this is actually available all in the documentation. So let's go over to the documentation. Context. Commands.context. So commands.context represents the context in which a command is being invoked under. So it's mildly helpful for us. And you can see a bunch of different attributes to this context. So this is actually highly important. So one of the first things I think you should do is take a complete read over of the API as much as you're comfortable with. It is somewhat long, but it is really important because it'll help you figure out and prevent mistakes that you'd otherwise need to spend a lot of time going through. You know, it's like they say, reading 5 minutes of documentation can save you 5 hours of debugging. So keep that in mind. Awesome. So the very simplest thing to do is let's not even go with something called repeat. Let's go with something that just says, you know, say hello. Okay. Now what we do is notice that how this function is also called an async function. Now, asynchronous functions are, you might have heard of these if you've worked with JavaScript before, but basically these are things that sort of wait for other stuff to finish. That's like the simplest way of doing this. Because ultimately, remember that the Discord API is communicating through this web interface. It's sort of like the same way that other APIs work. And of course, you're limited by a rate. And it basically takes time for certain things to happen. You know, when you send a message on Discord, there's like a small delay sometimes before it actually sends. And this way that the Discord API, the Python library is designed is such that it will wait for things to be done before calling other stuff. And the functionality of async functions is that inside async functions, we can use this keyword called await. Okay. Await basically does this thing that I just said before. It waits for something to be done doing. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Now, what I've done here is I've done the Discord bot version of Hello World. Okay. So this basically just does await ctx.send hello. So this basically allows you in whatever context the message was received to equally send another command, another message called hello. So let's try running this again. Okay, let's wait for the bot to get online. Okay, bot's online. And then we can just say hello. Now it says hello just as we expected it to. Awesome. And you'll actually notice the demo bot, the first demo bot actually caught the second demo bot saying hello. So that was pretty funny. Okay, so now we don't really want this that much, right? Do we? We want something a bit different. We want something else. We want the repeat command. And let's go back to message string. And now what we can actually just do is we can just send message. Okay, so if we try to run this, we're able to take in an argument as our command basically, and then resend what was passed into us. Let's see that, and now it says yeet. Okay, very good. So basically this repeats whatever we passed in. Now the interesting part about like commands with Discord bots is right here you can sort of think of this part as the function call, and this is sort of being this argument, this message argument. So what we can sort of think of this as is sort of like you're manually calling this function, and of course there's like this implied first argument in here. Now this gets really, really powerful, right? Because now you can sort of see the sort of things we can do with this. Maybe you don't get it yet, but we can try to do something else. Now, we're not just limited to people passing in elementary types like messages. We can also have people pass in other things like Discord users or even Discord channels. So this is really interesting. So let's do the simplest thing that we can do. Async def name of, and then what we can do is we can do user. And then what we have to do is, if you've never worked with this before, you can actually specify like typing inside like function arguments with Python. But what you do is if you put a colon in here and if you do discord dot user, what happens is basically whenever someone inputs something as an argument to this command, Discord will automatically try to, the discord.py will try to automatically interpret this as a Discord user. So now what I can try to do is I can try to send user.name. Okay, so let's try to do this. So we're going to restart the bot. And the way we input this is actually very interesting. So, sorry, I need to start the bot. Awesome, so it's online. Also, another thing built into bots is this thing called the help command. You can do add prefix with help, and it'll basically put whatever help stuff in demo bot. You goof. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do name of, and then we're going to add syntax. Okay, now let's say I change my nickname to something else, right, on the server. Let's say I want to change my nickname to something else. Definitely not syntax. And this is my nickname, so it's like, hello, you can't tell who I am. Well, you could click on my name, right, and you'd be able to see it. But let's say some people don't want to do that and you just want to expose me in public. You could do name of, definitely not syntax, and it tells you the name. So that's just one thing you can do. And as you can see with DemoBot, you could do /profile of, you know what I'll do, I'll pick on Nathan. There you go. And it should return the image of black hole, which is his profile picture. Takes a second to load. I trust that it'll load. But basically, yeah, there we go. Awesome. So this is just one tiny part of what you can even do with the Discord bot, right? Like this is not even the beginning of it. So let's look at what a demo bot had included in it. So of course it had this profile command, but it also has a couple of other things. It can also detect when you said hello just in sending a message. So this is distinctly different from commands, which will only trigger upon certain conditions. So we can actually do something different. Sorry, this shows me every single time someone joins the server. What we can actually do instead is we can actually add another thing. So things with this Discord API are driven by events. So one such event is when someone sends a message. So this is on message. Now on message, what this does is whenever a message is sent in a context that's visible to the bot will see it. And we decorate this using at client.event. So the actual thing here is this is distinctly different from a command, right? So before here with this command, what's really cool is that it actually takes the name of the function and it wraps it up as a command that's available for you to see externally, like on Discord. Now, this is sort of the opposite way around. This, you basically have to know what events are already present in the API, and we can look at this in terms of the event reference. The event references are here in the API. So there's like stuff like on connect, on disconnect, on ready, on shard ready, on resumed, whatever. And then we have on message. And then on message, if we look it up in the API, message, it will pass in a message. It'll pass in basically a message which is of type discord.message. I personally like to specify the types of variables whenever I'm working with them, but you don't need to. Okay, awesome. And then what can happen is you can basically say, well, we also want to do a sanity check, right? If you want to trigger something that happens when you send a message, you probably want to make sure it doesn't trigger when the bot itself sends a message, right? Or otherwise you would basically turn it into an infinite loop, and that would not be very good. So what you should do is you basically check if a message.author, because that's a property that you can check, does not equal to client.user. So this basically checks that the bot didn't send whatever incoming message it detected, because it will detect every single message that was sent in the server, including itself. So then what we can do is we can say, you know, we can wait. This time we can't do await ctx.send, but we can await message.channel.send. So sort of like when you're typing in Discord, you know, blah, 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 I can type in whatever channel I want. Someone sent a message. Or we can do something else, right? We can do message.author. Message.author sent a message. That makes sense. By the way, string formatting in Python, if you haven't seen this yet, this is basically a way of putting variables into your string, formatting them nicely. Okay, so now if I say yoyi, oh, did it not do it? Whoops. Why is that the case? Maybe it's just really slow today. Where did I need to check this? Really? Oh well. Okay, there's something else. There's something else I was going to show. When you have on message overrided here, you actually need to do something specific if you want commands to work again. Because right now, if I want commands to work again, oh, so now it sees. Sorry, so someone else on the server right now, send a message. No takers? Okay, that's okay. Oh, someone else does it. Awesome. Excellent. Awesome. Yeah, there's a couple of seconds of stream delay, but now it basically says like someone sent a message, which is pretty awesome, right? The problem is now this whole command thing doesn't work anymore. And why is that? Well, actually, the way that it works is that every single time on message is like a function that exists by itself, like in the API as a baseline. But when you override it like this, it basically prevents the commands from running normally. So what you need to do is separately is now you need to run await await client.process commands. This basically tells the bot to go check to see if the message contained any strings that match with the command prefix. So that is necessary when you do something like this. So now let's run the bot again, and let's check if it works. So bot should be online. Okay, now let's do help. Now it's a bit cluttered, right? Because it's a bit hectic. Because now not only does it detect like just when I sent a message, but also like that I am giving a help command. But it works for now. Okay. Something else I want to show you to see more specifics of commands. You're going to notice, right? Commands are this really cool thing, right? Because regularly you just see this in Python code as a function, right? But somehow discord.py, right? When you add a decorator to this, it actually turns this function like into something that you can call with a bot. Like I think this is pretty astounding, right? And so this is pretty neat. What you can also do is you can actually add a description to the function. So if you ever written a doc string for a function before in Python, I have like not many might have, but this is basically like a multi-line comment right underneath the function header that describes what happens. So you can do says hello. Okay, and this one it's repeats what the author said. Okay, and this one is gets the name of an input user. Okay, so now let's start this up again, and we're gonna comment out this block of code right now because this is getting a bit obnoxious for us. The previous on message trigger, and we're just going to look at the commands now. And we're going to wait for the bot to be online. Should be ready by now. Oh, it took another second. Let's give it some more time. Still not ready. These bots usually can take a couple of seconds to actually start. Okay, there we go. So check this out. So now notice when we run the help command, we actually get something that looks like this. So basically lists every single command and shows a description of that command. So now the description of the name of command matches what we put here in the description without us having to do any extra work, right? So by documenting your code, which is already something you should be doing, you're actually documenting your functions as well, which is really awesome. So that's pretty neat. And if need be, you can actually run help of a certain command. So let's say I wanted to get help with name of because I didn't know what I need to put in. And this basically shows us a bit more detailed input text for what we need to do. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? All right. So let me see what else I have in store for you guys. Now, the other thing we want is we probably want the bot to say when it's online, right? So we probably want the bot to say when it's online. And this is also another event. And this one is called onReady. Okay, and then this doesn't have any other arguments, but this we can just do. You can just simply print in the console like bot is ready. So you might have noticed a couple of times before, right? All these times where I typed in help and I didn't respond is because the bot hadn't fully prepared yet and it wasn't ready. So it needs to basically take some time to pull internal message caches and things from the actual servers. And that is in between the time it first logs onto Discord and the time when it's basically ready to accept commands. So we'll run this code again. And you'll see the next time I run this code, it'll basically print out bot is ready when it's ready. Yep. Okay, bot is ready now. So now I can type help and it'll work. Okay, but now maybe we want something else. Maybe we want something else. We want it so when it goes online, it changes its status. Because as you can see over here with Comrade, it actually changes. It actually has a status once it comes online. So let's figure out how to do that. Let's figure out how to do that. So for that, we can actually just look on the API. And status. So this shows someone's status. Now let's think of a way to change status. Well, I'll just spoil it for you guys. It's called change presence. So let's go to bot.changePresence. And this basically will allow us to change presence to something else. And you can see this base snippet here. We can just copy what their example here and put it into our bot because that's the one that I've been doing. Okay, so we can just do discord.game. So to basically get this custom fancy description that you have underneath it, you just frame this as a game, and you can just put, hello, ready, and then we can just do await client.change presence status activity equals game. So now let's restart the bot. And I want you to keep a close eye on this user. All right, so now it's changed its status. Right now it's saying, hello, we're ready. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? So we've been able to do that now. Now, there's a couple of other things you can do with what we have left. We can, for instance, make it so that the user gets a role, just like what we did with setbot, right? So remember we had here with EULA, people basically get a role added to them whenever someone types "I agree" in a specific channel. So let me actually show you the code that comes from. So this is actually the source code for setbot. Now let's break down what this code does. So as you can see, this on message listener, it's very similar to what we have coded right now, right? It's very similar to what we had coded right just then. And but there's an additional check. So basically checks if the channel in which the message was sent was specifically this channel. So we basically want it specifically to be this channel, right? Because we don't want people typing "I agree" in the other channels, right? Because that wouldn't be nice. And then basically what we do is if we detect that their message says "I agree," so if it's directly equal to that, then what we will do is we will assign them a role, and then the role will be added to them. So that's pretty awesome. Now, this might look a bit complicated. Basically, message author is basically the person who sent the message. It's a Discord object. Roles is basically a list of the roles that people have in servers. So as you can see, if you go to the SetHack server, right, let's just look at Sean's roles. He's a mentor and a judge. So it would be a list basically of that. Now you can basically add or remove from that list of roles. So in this case, we wanted to add the participant role to everyone who joined the server. So you basically get the participant role. Now the participant role is basically we fetch a role from the server. There's a command to do that as well with Discord. So you can either do it in two different ways. You can either try to fetch the role using a for loop, or you can just use Discord's built-in function to get it. And then what we do is we basically update the user, and then we send the message, the iconic message, "Thanks, your role has been added." Now let's do something fun. Let's do something funny. Let's try to make our bot basically ping someone at random. Okay, it's really, really evil, but we're gonna make someone ping someone at random. So let's do if message message.content is equal to at someone. Okay, we're going to need to import random. Okay, now inside each server, right, there's going to be a set of members. Okay, so what we can do is we can actually use this members as a set of members as a list. We can access the guild. So the server in Discord programming, the server is called a guild. So you have to get used to it. But you can basically just do members equal to message.guild.members. Okay, so basically this prints out a list. This prints out a list of members. So I'm just gonna print members so we can see, so we can get a tactile feel of what this actually looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the bot to be ready. I'm gonna look at this bottom bar here, and it should tell me when the bot's ready. Are you gonna be ready? It's taking a second. It's taking a second. Bot is ready. Okay, awesome. So now let's do at someone. Okay, so now you see this huge list up here, right? So what you can see here is this is basically a list of all the people who have joined the server. So that's pretty awesome, isn't it? And this basically provides a bunch of information, on the server. Okay, so enough of that now. Now we can basically get a random choice. So what we can do is we can use random dot choice within a set of iterables, right? Because members is a list, so members an iterable, and this can be our lucky person. Call it lucky underscore person for Python casing. And then what we can do is we can just await message dot channel dot send lucky person. All right. So let's try doing this. See how the meeting's going. See if we have any people on. Okay, awesome. So now we're going to wait for the bot to be ready once again. Oh, it's taking its sweet time. But now what's going to happen is whenever the bot's ready, now we do add someone. You see? So now it's rolling a random person every single time. And now if I want to be super annoying, you know, I will. Now what you can do is, so this is just printing the person's name, right? But you know how you can also mention people, right? So you know how like I can mention myself, right? You can also do this with just with this. So let's try running it. Let's try running it like this. And this is definitely going to annoy a couple of people, but oh well. This was actually a Discord April Fool's joke a couple of years ago, where they would basically make it so pinging at someone would ping a random person on the server. Now we have just implemented that with a Discord bot. Obviously, don't spam this because this is not a nice thing to do. Congratulations, you have been pinged. So yeah, that's pretty nifty, isn't it? So that's really the essence of what it takes to get started with a Discord bot in Python. In terms of being able to host this elsewhere, right? Comrade is actually hosted on one of the mentor servers. Sean actually hosts this for me. He's generous enough to be able to provide some server space for me, just personally. In terms of you being able to find a host, it's a bit complicated. You'd have to find a service basically that will host and run your Python code remotely, and also be able to stay up all the time. Now, one of the ways that you can do this is with a platform like Heroku. Heroku basically will host your bots remotely like this. So that's pretty interesting. But speaking of today's sponsors, have you heard of DigitalOcean? DigitalOcean is the cloud hosting service that is sponsoring SetHacks 2020, and they are providing everyone with access to DigitalOcean for the duration of the hackathon. So this actually allows you to host Kubernetes on here, which includes being able to run your Discord bot, which is pretty epic. So if you're willing to use this and learn Kubernetes, this is a great way to deploy your bot. And I think I'll cap off this discussion with sort of a breadth and depth of things that you can actually do with a bot like this. So we can get into my bot Comrade, and this has a lot of code associated with it. So what I've actually been able to do with Comrade is I've been able to split my code into a bunch of different files. So each of these files basically has its own separate functionality. And you would probably understand, right? If I kept on having a bunch of different commands, right? Eventually this would get hundreds or maybe thousands of lines long, and no one wants to read that. So what we can actually do is you can use something called a cog. Oops, that was another thing. A cog. And a cog basically is like a way of breaking up your bot into a bunch of different classes. So for homework, for all of you out there, because it's always good to give homework. Take a look at cogs. Program your own bot. Not for gun, for fun. And then finally, if you want, check out some reference bots. Like this one, or just go to this repository. Awesome. Yeah, so that brings us to the end of the Discord bot workshop. I hope you all enjoyed and got something out of this. This is more of just a quick introduction to it. So obviously, if you want to develop your own bot, right, your requirements are going to be far different from mine. And so it's going to take a lot more work to get to wherever you want. This is sort of just showing you how flexible you can actually be with the Discord API. Whoops, is there something in chat? Oh, I noticed along with Python, Node.js is also widely used. What is the benefit of Python over Node? Okay, yes. So I am a lot more familiar with Python than Node. So there actually is another similar API called Discord.js. Discord.js. So Discord.js runs off of Node.js. So if you're really, if you have a high affinity with JavaScript, use this instead. So specifically in terms of features of Python that I prefer over JavaScript, Python's native libraries are a lot better in my opinion than whatever you can do with JavaScript. But that's also because I'm a Python fanboy. I really don't know much JS, so that's why I sort of shy away from it. A lot of bots are coded on Discord.js. I code my stuff on Discord.py because Python's I'm a lot more familiar with. I want to give you a demonstration though. So for instance, one thing that you can do with this is graphing, right? SignX. This is a bit more difficult to do with Discord.js, right? Because with Discord.py, you might have heard of libraries like NumPy and Matplotlib. So these are very easily able to generate graphs using anything, right? So it's very easy for me to do what I want with my bot using Discord.py. You can do similar things with Discord.js, definitely, absolutely. So that's a great question. Thank you for that. You can definitely do it with that. So this is so these are two main camps. A lot of the really big bots that you see are coded with Discord.js. So if you just go on like, a top list of Discord bots. Top.gg. This is the site they usually go to. Let's just go over to Meesix. I think they tell me. Oh, they don't tell me. Nah, it doesn't tell me. There's a couple of other ones. Let's go for Dankmemer, for instance. Dankmemer, for instance, I know this bot is coded on Discord.js. So this is actually like, this is quite a well-made bot. The purpose of this to learn Discord.py was more just to tie in with today's Python workshop so that people who are new to Python can sort of see the applications of what can be done with this. Yes. So if there aren't any other questions, I hope you enjoyed this workshop. We're going to wrap this up now. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask on the in the question channel. I'd be happy to talk with you about this. And if you want a more thorough demo of my other bots, just let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed. The next workshop is coming up in around 13 minutes. So stay tuned for that. Take care, guys. Happy hacking.